Window Seat ASMR. I hope you're having a good day, and thanks for joining us on our next tour, which today is going to be New York City. I hope you really enjoy it, so let's get started and get a little bit of altitude here. We're going to be flying in a Velocity volocopter today again. It's a bit of a drone-like vehicle, and it allows me to keep the aircraft relatively stable so that we can get a good look at the sights. There you can see Brooklyn over there, and the Brooklyn Bridge. And we're just gonna get a bit of altitude here before we get going. I should add, as a disclaimer, that I have not been to New York since I was about 15 years old, so I am no expert on the city. Apologies in advance if I get anything wrong here, but I do have some notes. So let's see what we can cover in the 30 minutes or so that we run this tour. So the first stop today is out here in front of the aircraft, and that is called Governor's Island. It sits at the mouth of the East River, just a stone's throw from Manhattan. And apparently it was originally home to Native American tribes, and it was later claimed by the Dutch, and then the British, surprise, surprise, before becoming a strategic military outpost. During the American Revolution, it served as a key defense post for New York Harbor, and it saw action in battles like the Battle of Brooklyn, which sounds cool, but I know nothing about. Over the years, it's housed military installations. I think we can get a glimpse of a bit of a fort down here as we pass over it, star-shaped. A Coast Guard station, and it even operated as a prison during the U.S. Civil War. Today, it's a far more chill spot for urban escapism. It offers visitors green space, historic buildings, and I'm sure killer views of the Manhattan skyline. You can get there by hopping on a quick ferry ride from Brooklyn or from Manhattan, and you can check out its parks, its art installations, and a few seasonal events apparently, so that's cool. So let's fly out to a far more famous landmark. I don't think anybody's gonna have any questions about what that is, but we'll just turn the aircraft and get going. That bridge you can see in the distance there is the Verrazano Narrows Bridge. It connects Brooklyn on the left to Staten Island on the right. So let's bring the aircraft around. That is a bright sun. Well, and here we are at our next stop, the Statue of Liberty. Probably one of the most famous sights in New York and the US, maybe even the world. It is standing tall there on Liberty Island in New York Harbor, and it was gifted to the US by France in 1886. Since then, it's greeted immigrants arriving in the United States, seeking a better life. So let's get a decent view of it here. That's kind of cool. Definitely one of the most iconic sites in the US. If you want to get to the island, you can get there, I believe, from Battery Park. You can get a ferry. And we'll maybe swing by Battery Park as we get a bit closer to Manhattan itself. That other island, just out in front, that is Ellis Island. And that actually served as the nation's busiest immigration inspection station from 1892 until 1954. Apparently over 12 million immigrants passed through Ellis Island's halls, which is kind of mind-blowing, to be honest. Imagine the number of people entering the States, coming for a better life. So it's a kind of a poignant symbol of America's diverse heritage, I guess. Today, both these islands are part of the Statue of Liberty National Monument, and as you can imagine, they attract millions of visitors every year. So, flying over Ellis Island just now. Get a good view there, and then see the old immigration halls down there. that park, green space over there to the left, that is Liberty State Park, nestled along the Jersey waterfront. That is the state of New Jersey there. And I think it offers a bit of an escape from the hustle and bustle of New York. It has lots of green space, walking paths, and picnic areas, so some good opportunities for outdoor activities and relaxation. Over here on the left, that's Jersey City in the state of New Jersey. And we are currently flying over the Hudson River, so get a better view of the skyline down here. There's a lot to see here. I don't want to move the camera around too much, but at the same time, I don't want people to get bored, so we're gonna maybe move around the aircraft a bit here as we get closer to Manhattan itself. And here's where the real view is gonna kick in. So we'll maybe shift over here to the other window and get a view of Lower Manhattan and the financial district. So I guess the financial district, I think, is kind of underrated. I remember visiting there. It's not just big bucks and high rises. It's got some pretty cool memorials and iconic landmarks. Obviously, it's dominated there by the Freedom Tower, which was completed in 2014. One World Trade Center, I think, is the other name, and it stands at a height of 1,776 feet, making it the tallest building in the Western Hemisphere, which is very cool. Obviously, there's a very sad story around its construction. It probably wouldn't be there if it wasn't for 9/11, when nearly 3,000 people unfortunately lost their lives. I still remember coming back from school and seeing that on the news as a kid, and it upset me, it upset my family, and it's just a sad reminder of how messed up the world can be, I think. But yeah, let's focus on more positive things and enjoy the view here. And that is pretty cool. So I think we're flying over Tribeca right now, although I'm sure if you're from New York, you can correct me. We've got the Tribeca, which actually I just learned today stands for Triangle Below Canal Street. And apparently that's a trendy neighborhood known for its cobblestone streets, converted warehouses, and one too many celebrity sightings. So we'll fly over here. I think Chinatown is near here as well. A bustling neighborhood brimming with culture and history and offering a bit of an insight into Chinese American heritage. You can get some good food down there. So we'll just keep flying around the financial district here. I'm aware that I am rambling quite a bit because I am not as knowledgeable about New York as I was Tokyo. But look at this scenery, this is fantastic. So just a stone's throw away from the, Freedom Tower is Wall Street, apparently. The financial epicenter of the world. There you can get the New York Stock Exchange, the Federal Hall National Memorial Stand. And yeah, it's cool. So this light's kind of nice, bathing the skyscrapers in a bit of sunshine here. You can probably tell I'm still quite nervous about ASMR. I'm not used to rambling for so often. So if I'm talking absolute nonsense, please let me know in the comments. As we come around here, you should actually get a good view of the memorial to the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center. They have some memorial pools there now, like reflecting pools, and they cover the footprint of the original towers, which you can see down there. So sad, but a really nice memorial Those unfortunate people. So let's fly up the Hudson here for a little bit. You can see Jersey City again over there on the left. It's a lot more built up than it was when I was in New York. I don't remember there being that many skyscrapers on that side of the river. But I guess people there are so short of space and it's so expensive that building up is the best option. So we'll keep going here. I believe we have the Lower East Side up in this part of Manhattan. It's known for vibrant nightlife, some eclectic eateries, and rich history. Got Greenwich Village, tree-lined streets, kind of haven for artists and musicians. And, between here and there is Midtown, so we'll probably come up on Midtown soon. And that's known for its iconic skyscrapers, bustling streets, and lots of things to explore. So, more residential down there, it would seem, than commercial. But as I said, I've not been to New York or explored it for quite some time, so let me know in the comments if you have, and some cool places to check out. Oops. Let's pretend that menu didn't pop up. A bit of immersion breaking there. And we'll turn the aircraft around so we can get a good view of Midtown here. I'm not sure if this is too far from the Miracle on the Hudson, where the flight was landed on the river, but maybe a bit further upriver there. So we'll turn around here. You can see the buildings getting a lot taller, and a few iconic buildings coming into view here. So down there on the left, we can see Madison Square Garden, or MSG, the world-famous arena. It is home to the New York Knicks and the New York Rangers, if you're a hockey fan. I love hockey myself. Bit of a mecca for sports fans, I think. Very, very famous arena. Some unforgettable sporting history in there. And, that's a hell of a view. And there is the ever iconic Empire State Building, towering over Midtown Manhattan there. It is 1,454 feet tall, including the antenna. It was constructed during the Great Depression. It opened in 1931 and held the title of world's tallest building for nearly 40 years, which is pretty incredible. And that's a fantastic view of it there. It's got an Art Deco design. And it's probably one of the most recognizable landmarks in the world. It's featured in countless films, TV shows, works of art. Really a big part of the US and US culture. You can actually go to the observation decks on the 86th and 102nd floors, and they offer a pretty amazing view of New York's skyline. Speaking of amazing views, how amazing is that? That is pretty cool. As I say, this is Microsoft Flight Simulator. We do have an add-on for New York here, Samsung 3D, which adds a bit of extra realism and a few more 3D textures to the map data. So we'll bring this around, get a view of the Empire State from a slightly different angle. And we're coming up here on another quite famous skyscraper. We'll wait until we get a little bit closer before reading some of the facts to you. And that one down there with the distinctive crown is called the Chrysler Building. I'll just bring it into view here. And there it is there. It's another stunning Art Deco masterpiece of a building, really, that is one of New York's most beloved skyscrapers. It was completed in 1930, And interestingly, it actually held the title of the world's tallest building for only 11 months before the Empire State Building surpassed it. Personally, I think it looks better. I think it's fantastic. So we'll fly even further past Midtown Manhattan here. A really fantastic neighborhood. Just soak in the views a little bit. I'll shut up for a little while and stop talking so much nonsense. So we're gonna bring it round and start turning here to the left. You can see now there are some very, very tall but ultra slim skyscrapers here. And they are kind of known as the pencil buildings, I think, or the pencil towers. They are residential. And they're also dubbed Billionaires Row because they are luxury skyscrapers offering very, very exclusive residences with amazing views of the Manhattan skyline. But they cost a pretty penny, let me tell you that. I think they're actually quite controversial because I don't think people particularly like the shape. They dominate the skyline there. I do think they stand out. I'm not sure myself if they stand out in the right way or not, but I'll let you make your own opinion there. So I think those buildings down there on the edge of Central Park are actually, is that the Plaza Hotel? If anybody's seen Home Alone, it's pretty famous for that. That was one of my favorite movies as a kid. I think Christmas is Home Alone. And then we can actually catch a glimpse of Times Square in the back there. But maybe get to see a little bit more of that later. But yeah, Times Square. So here we go. We'll make a bit of a turn here and we'll head north, I believe. And fly over the rest of Manhattan here. So this is Central Park, again, world famous. A bit of a sprawling, rather, oasis in the heart of Manhattan. It spans 843 acres of greenery, waterways, large lakes there, and recreational spaces. It was opened in 1858, and it's since become one of the most famous parks in the world. You can see a golf course, I think, down there, or was that baseball? Maybe baseball fields. Visitors can enjoy a variety of activities year-round, including picnicking, jogging, biking, rowing, horse-drawn carriage rides, ice skating, outdoor concerts, theater performances, and public art installations. So, pretty cool place to visit. So we'll keep flying up here. Nice view of the Hudson there. Looking over to the state of Jersey and behind. And again, I think that might be where they famously landed that flight on the river there. Although, please correct me if I'm wrong. So, great. Now as we come up past Central Park here, I believe we're flying over the Harlem neighborhood. Located in Upper Manhattan, and it's renowned for its rich cultural heritage. It's historically known as a center of African American culture. And I think today it continues to celebrate its cultural diversity through music, art, dance, and cuisine. Or so the guidebooks say. So visitors to Harlem can explore iconic landmarks like the Apollo Theater, which is a legendary venue for African American performers, and the Abyssinian Baptist Church, a historical place of worship and community activism. So I think we're flying over Upper Manhattan now. It's got a few diverse neighborhoods like Washington Heights, Inwood as well. Washington Heights is known for its Dominican culture. And across this river here, we are coming up to the Bronx, which is also known for its rich culture and urban green spaces. And kind of urban restoration, I think, as well. It's home to renowned attractions like the Bronx Zoo and the New York Botanical Garden, which features diverse plant collections and seasonal exhibitions. So there's Yankee Stadium down there, home to the famous New York Yankees, one of the most valuable teams in sports. Yeah, it was built in 2009, and it pays homage to the team's storied history while offering some more modern amenities than the old Yankee Stadium did, which was showing its age by the time it closed there. So it hosts MLB games, concerts, and other special events. There's a pretty good view of it here from overhead. So we're gonna start heading south again. I think it's south. Please correct me if I'm wrong. South? West, maybe? And back over the Bronx here. That's a cracking view of the skyline. Like, in that sunlight there, you can see how those pencil buildings really stand out. As I say, I'm not sure if I'm a fan. I think they're bold. I'll never get the chance to live in one or even probably go in one, so yeah, it's not really my problem. But yeah, they look kind of cool, I guess. So we're gonna follow the river out here. I think LaGuardia Airport is out that way. We can see the flashing lights actually. One of the major airports servicing New York City, along with JFK and New York and Jersey. So let's continue our flight down here. I find that the American cities in this game are much more accurate than your ones in Europe and Asia. Mostly because the satellite data is there for them to populate the buildings more accurately. That is a bright light. Kind of a low winter sun, I guess. So we'll check out some of these more residential neighborhoods. If you've got any fun facts about New York, leave them in the comments. And if you've got any feedback about the videos in general, I'd love to hear them. I'm kind of still at the point where I'm wondering if I have the voice for ASMR or the charisma. There are so many talented artists out there. And I guess I'm just doing this for a bit of fun, pass some time, and show people the beauty of this game. So we're flying down over the East River now. closer to Manhattan again. That island in the middle of the river there, that is called Roosevelt Island. It's kind of unique. It's a narrow island located right in the middle of the east, between Manhattan and Queens, over there on the left. And it offers a bit of an escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. It is accessible by tramway, subway, or bridge, and it's kind of known for its good views of the Manhattan skyline. The island features a mix of residential buildings, some parks, and historical landmarks, including the ruins, bizarrely, of a smallpox hospital and the Octagon, which was a former mental asylum turned luxury apartment complex. So that's another good view of Central Park over there to the right. And that's Roosevelt Island down below. I think that we can see some tennis courts down there and new luxury apartments. I think it's reasonably inaccessible by New York City standards, which probably makes it a bit more peaceful than the rest of the city. So there's Queens over there on the left. Again, a few more skyscrapers over there than I remember there being in the past, but I didn't spend much time in Queens personally, so. And as I say, I haven't been there since I was 15 years old, so. A long time ago. So I think we can actually see the trams moving on the bridge down there. I just got a glimpse of that, which is a nice touch for the sim. And down here on the right, we're coming up to the UN headquarters. But we'll get a glimpse of that in a minute, after we take another look at Midtown here. I can never get tired of that view, I don't think. So that's the UN headquarters down there on the right, and it's located in Turtle Bay, Manhattan. It was completed in 1952, and it's recognized for its distinctive modernist architecture. The complex includes the General Assembly building, and that's where all the member states convene for meetings, debates, and disagree on absolutely everything. But I better be careful not to bring politics into the channel. So it's supposed to be a symbol for international cooperation and diplomacy, so good intentions there. There's another view of the Empire State. And we'll continue down the east here. Have another peek out there. And I believe that's now Brooklyn on the left. One of the boroughs of New York. So there are 3 bridges down here, 3 iconic bridges. We've got the Williamsburg Bridge, I think, initially. That was opened in 1903. It connects the Lower East Side of Manhattan with Williamsburg and Brooklyn. So that's the first of them. Then we have the Manhattan Bridge, a little bit further along. That was opened in 1909. It's a unique double-decked roadway, which carries vehicles on the upper level and subway trains on the lower level. And we, of course, have the Brooklyn Bridge, which I think is world famous. That was completed in 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge. It was the first steel wire suspension bridge ever constructed, and it's recognized as a National Historical Landmark, We might get a glimpse of it in a minute if that sun wasn't so bright. And there's the Brooklyn skyline ahead. But we'll back around and we'll follow the river a little bit here. And kind of just soak in the last of the sights here in New York before we finish up this video. As I say, I hope you enjoy these videos. Hopefully they're of value to you. We'll try and get a peek there at the back. Yeah, towards Midtown again. And apologies if I'm moving around a little bit too much here. Trying to see as much as possible and capture as many of the sights as we can. So there's the Manhattan Bridge and the Brooklyn Bridge after that. I think the Brooklyn Bridge is pretty famous worldwide. One of the more iconic pieces of architecture in New York. And here we are. We're back at the financial district. We'll see if we can get a peek at the Brooklyn skyline there. Some nice areas of green space down there, residential neighborhoods. There's some cool townhouses and other things. And there is Lower Manhattan. So here's probably a decent place to finish the video up. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, please subscribe if you enjoyed it. And we'll maybe see you for another tour. It looks like there's cars driving the river down there. I don't know why that is, but yeah, that's probably a good place to finish up. Thank you very much for watching. If you're going to sleep, I hope you sleep well. Have a fantastic evening. And if you're going about your day, I hope you have a really good one. Alright, thank you.